freaky friends. This is Margaret.
And this is Colleen.
And we're the Cousins Weird.
We're doing a recording after a little hiatus.
Well, there was Christmas, and I was ridiculously busy right before Christmas.
And Margaret's sick.
And then my dad gave the flu to my sister Renee, who gave it to me on Christmas, because yay, it's the season of giving. So let's share the flu. Woohoo!
And we had a mega storm at Christmas here in the North Country.
It was crazy. Lots of whiteout, lots of feet of snow here. 5 days of it. And it's so long recording that the original notes that I took were a Christmas themed episode, and we're past Christmas, so I had to switch gears and do a quick something else. But it's going to be a quick episode today. It's not very long, so we can banter a little bit in the beginning.
Yeah.
I finally watched the House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones. I finally finished watching it. Yeah, I was sick. I got lots of watching out of me.
So good.
It was so good. I loved it. It was really good.
Loved it. And I know, it's sick if you're doing your uncle. That's gross. I do not condone it in any shape or form. But in that fantasy world, that was hot.
You know what it is? That girl who plays Rhaenyra is fucking beautiful. Oh my God. I love her. She is just stunning. She's stunning.
She's
even with the white hair and the weird eyebrows. It just, out of all of the people they've had, a Targaryen, it didn't look weird on her. She looked
like she should be that way.
She should be a towhead with white hair. You know?
And she looks, I don't know if you watched the show Euphoria.
No.
I loved that show too. Jules in Euphoria. I had to Google. I really thought that was the girl. I'm like, she looks older, but maybe she is a little older. And I'm like, no. But the girl who plays What's-Her-Face, Targaryen, she looks nothing like the girl when she's not in character. So it's just the white hair and I don't know. It was crazy how much she looked like her. I kept on going, that has to be her. And then I know it's not her.
The actress who played the younger version of her was really weird looking, I thought. And I was just like, okay. And I was thrown off because then they show this episode with a girl, an obvious Targaryen giving birth. I'm like, which the hell one is this?
I know.
And at first I thought they went back in time and it was the mother who died.
Right. I did too when I first saw it.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't understand what's going on. And then I go, oh, maybe it's the princess, who got passed over for the original king.
Right.
No, it wasn't. It was her son. And it took me, I wish they'd have said 10 years later, then I would have known what was happening. But it took me a while to catch up, and I'm like, I don't like that.
So, that show's good. Did you watch Wednesday yet?
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Oh my God, so good. I love what's her name?
Jenna Ortega.
Oh my God. Stunning.
I know, she's so cute.
Margaret, I Googled what lipstick color does Jenna Ortega wear as Wednesday. And you want to know what she wears? Because I loved it. What? It's MAC Night Mauve lip liner mixed with lip balm. They mixed it on their hand. Because they wanted it to look kind of natural, she had naturally dark tinted lips. Buying the MAC, I actually looked up dupes for the MAC because I don't want to spend $21 for the MAC.
And MAC tests on animals.
Oh, well, Elf has a dupe, so we're going to go with Elf because it's cheaper and it's humanely tested. So
I'm thinking the Clinique Black Honey is what she has. Black
Honey is all the rage.
But Clinique also, I think, tests on animals. But a dupe for that is there's one by Elf that's one of their tinted balms. It's I think I gave it to you.
I think I do have. No, I think that one I have later.
And then the CoverGirl one is the cherry one.
Yeah, I was looking at dupes for that Black Honey because that's beautiful. And I thought she was wearing the Black Honey on her lips.
So did I.
But it wasn't because they made a signature color. But it really wasn't signature. They took the lip liner and mixed it with a balm. But I'm like, that's a smart idea. If you have a cool lip liner you like and mix it with a balm, you can have a tinted lip gloss.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I don't know why we're talking about makeup on our bizarre, weird podcast, but we are, because
I cannot tell you, when I started watching that, I'm like, oh my God, Christina Ricci is in this. It made me so happy, because she was like the Wednesday Addams of our generation. You know, like, we grew up with her as Wednesday Addams.
Mm-hmm. I was really happy she was in it.
The fact that she was in it, I'm like, oh my God, it made me so excited. Like,
I know, I was super excited about it, and I love that What's-Her-Face from Game of Thrones was in it.
Which one?
The principal.
Oh, yes. Yes. I love her. Oh my God.
And we won't give spoilers. We don't want to ruin anything. But she said that she's never felt more beautiful in a role than she did playing the principal in that. So I thought that was really kind of cool. She was stunning in it.
She's like a gorgeous Amazonian goddess.
Yes. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the Wednesday's roommate, loved her. And I think that, and I love that meme going around. It's like my two sides of my personality, and it's Wednesday and her. I'm like, that's still how I feel in life. Like, I feel like that too.
I'm totally that, because I'm like, I'm crocheting and listening to, horrible, sweary,
trying and plus true crime stuff and scary things.
Yeah.
And I like to have a witchy house, but I also like rainbowy color cuteness too. Yeah. So I think that that is a dual side of a lot of people's personalities, is those two things. And they can be in the same body. It's okay. You made a cute little octopus. Him's cute. I love him.
He's purple too. Yeah.
He's adorable.
So the new.
I just loafed the whole break. I did nothing productive. I played my Switch like it was my job. Oh, it's a frog. He's cute. I like his little foot. I played my Switch a lot. I got Disney's Dreamlight Valley, and I'm obsessed with it. It's been super fun to play, so I've been playing like that, like it was my job for the 10 days I had off.
I had goals, aspirations of playing.
Yes, I did too, yeah. Oh, I just had goals and aspirations.
Zelda Breath of the Wild on my Switch. And I didn't. I just crocheted a bunch, and I played stupid games on my phone.
You should have played the Zelda on your Switch.
I should have.
And after we're done with this recording and I edit our episode, I will be playing my Switch again because I'm addicted. I do this. I get new games and I play like a crazy person, then I don't touch it for like 6 months.
I got a bunch of new eyeshadow palettes for Christmas, and I haven't worn any of them because I've been sick and I haven't felt the need.
Oh, this is the first day I've got out of pajamas because I had to go back to work.
Yeah,
that's just
I basically wore sweatpants and and I got some new red and black plaid flannel pajama bottoms.
Yeah, I love a good buffalo plaid pajamas.
They weren't buffalo plaid; they were regular plaid. They're just black and white. Black and red, sorry.
Black and red. Gotcha.
Like tartan plaid.
Oh, nice.
All right, so are we ready?
Just in time for my dogs to bark at everything.
I have something different today. It's not really spooky or anything. It's more like historical antiquity artifact kind of episode for me.
Okay, cool.
Weird. Yeah. So we're going back to the year 1835, and we're in a small German town called Schifferstadt, and my handwriting is so bad I thought it was Shitterstadt. Which I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta channel National Lampoon's A Shittersville! Shitterstadt! But it's Schifferstadt with an F. It's April, and a farmer who was working in the fields, this farmer unearthed a golden cone-shaped artifact. It was about 11.6 inches tall. And it's funny how in the same article, they talked the length is in inches and the diameter is in centimeters, which is really annoying. But,
I don't like that.
I don't either. It's 18 centimeters in the widest part wide. It had a weight of 0.77 pounds, so it's very light, not even a pound. It was made from a single sheet of hammered gold, and the object resembled a witch's hat, but it's made of gold, right? Okay. Think a coned hat with a brim.
I want a gold witch's hat.
It had bands of circles hammered or stamped into it to make bands of a pattern all the way up to the top. And they're circles and discs and oblong, more oval eye shapes. But they found this, and we're going to call it a hat because it looks like a hat.
Right.
When this hat was found, it was in a rectangular pit about 2 feet below the surface of the ground. It was sitting upright, and there were 3 bronze axes leaning against it. So it was a definite ritual feel to this find. So like this guy's digging and he finds this weird gold hat with axes leaning against it. And think about, this is in 1835. This is a farmer.
1835.
And,
okay.
Right. We're lucky this guy didn't just take it and melt it down and sell it.
He's like, ooh, it's gold.
Yeah. And he's probably not a very wealthy person, but maybe he understood this is special. I bet I can get more for it than what the gold is worth. You know?
Right, right.
This site was eventually dated to the 15th to the 13th century BCE. So we're talking BC, like
that's
1400 BC is when we're talking.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is the Bronze Age. In 1844, this is not even 10 years later, near Aventon, France, another such artifact was found. And this cone had no brim, but it looked like there were signs of damage, and it is believed that it did have a brim at one point, but by the time they found it, the brim was missing off of it. So it just looked like a tall cone. This one was 1.8 feet tall, and it weighed 0.63 pounds. It also was made of a single sheet of hammered gold, and it was decorated in a similar fashion to the earlier one. And this hat was dated to 1000 to 900 BCE, which is the late Bronze Age. The first one was dated to the Middle Bronze Age, and this one was the late Bronze Age, so it's a little new. In 1853, near Eseldorf, Germany, so we're jumping ahead 100 years now, a workman was digging, and his tools hacked into a metal object that had been buried just 3 inches below the surface, so it wasn't very deep. He didn't think anything of it, because it just looked like it was metal foil with dirt stuck on it, and he didn't think it was anything special, so he just tossed it aside. And it wasn't until later when it started to rain that he noticed the golden shine to the object, and he's like, oh, this is more
of a different color.
Exactly. Literally, right? And so a man from the German National Museum in Nuremberg, his name was George Raschke, he rescued the pieces and to reconstruct it, and it was finally recognized as one of the hats in the 1990s. So it took them like 40 years to realize what this was.
Wow.
Right. Because, it got hacked up and smushed by some guy digging in the dirt. You know, it wasn't the guy's fault. After being reconstructed, it's the tallest of all the hats that have been found. It was 2.9 feet tall.
Wow.
2 feet. Like
2.5
feet tall. Right. And it was 0.73 pounds. So this one it's twice the height of the original one, and it weighs a little less. So this is thin. This metal is
really thin.
Really thin, like aluminum foil thin. There were 2 bronze. Right, and there were 2 bronze rings that were recovered from the site by Raschke, and they were found to be reinforcements for the inside of this cone.
Oh,
so they're like, this was very fine, like it was, because it was so thin. I was like, can you imagine in the Bronze Age what it took to make these things? Hammered gold, like you have to like heat the gold and pound it and pound it and pound it and pound it till it's like the right size, and then you would form it into a cone, and it's delicate like aluminum foil, or even thinner, and then pound or stamp designs into it. It's just crazy to think about.
And how big of a piece of gold did it take to pound out? I'm going to
get to it. Yeah.
Okay.
It was also made from a single piece of hammered gold. It was 0.03 inches thick. 0.03 inches.
Wait, the original piece was? No, that's the hat.
That's how much they hammered it out to be that thin.
Okay.
And they said the gold used to make this artifact was roughly the size of a matchbox. before it was hammered out. So they took this square of gold and hammered it and hammered it and hammered it till it was 0.03 inches thick. And then they made this hat from it. It's like, what was this thing? It's like they don't know what these were for, obviously, because they're so old.
Why? Yeah, I need to know why.
I know.
Someone took all that effort.
I know. That's why I think this, because I'm like, basically making you look like a big cone head.
Yeah.
This hat is decorated with 154 rows of symbols. I mean, it's 2 feet tall, and it's got 154 rows of symbols stamped.
Wow. That is a lot of work.
They said mostly circles, but they also had ovals that resembled eyes, miniature 8-spoked wheels or stars, and small cones. And the tip of the hat had a 10-point star stamped into it.
Okay.
And it's the most intricately decorated of all the hats found, and has been surmised that it would have required 20 different punches, a comb, and cylindrical stamps to make the different designs that were on this. And it had been dated to 1000 to 900 BCE.
That's just crazy to me. And I need to know, what's the point of the hat? What do the symbols mean?
Right.
Why you wanted to do it.
Especially the amount of time it took to make something like this. And using gold, which gold was not that readily found in Europe at this time. You know, like, it wasn't like something just laying around. This was something special. You know, these artifacts are something that they had a purpose. So, you know, like, they were for something.
That's what I was saying. There have to be some kind of, there's an importance to this.
Yeah.
Like, there's an importance, or they wouldn't have wasted the time. My dogs are driving me nuts.
Okay, and so the last hat that they found to date is known as the Berlin hat. It has an unknown origin. So it is believed to have been found in either southern Germany or Switzerland. It was purchased in 1995 by the Berlin Museum of Prehistory and Early History. And it has, like, the provenances are unknown. Like, it doesn't really have, and that's something like people in the art or antiquity,
right? Like,
a provenance tells you where something, like, the history of something when you buy it. This artifact didn't have that.
Weird.
So they have it at this museum, but they don't really know when it was found, or they kind of know a rough estimate of where it was found, but they don't really know how.
The origin.
Right. They don't know. Like, it's just like,
just because it was found there doesn't mean it was used there.
It was basically in somebody's private collection, and they're like, I think this is something special, or somebody said, you need to sell that to the Berlin Museum because it's wicked rare.
Right, you know. Right, that's not something you see every day.
Right.
You have pictures of these, right? Because I need to see them.
I shared them all on the thing. It's pretty cool. This hat is 2.4 feet high, and it weighs 1.08 pounds. So this is the heaviest one. It had a thickness of 0.02 inches, 0.02 of an inch thick. 0.02 of an inch, right? Isn't that what 0.02 inches?
Yeah, I think so. I'm bad at that kind of stuff, but it sounds right to me.
Right. Right, because if it was 0.5, that would be half, which would be 50%. Yeah, so 0.02 of an inch. Right. Okay. Take math. It's been a while since I've been.
Me and math aren't friends, so.
It was made from a single piece of hammered gold, just like the other ones. It's reinforced at the base by a hammered ring of bronze, which is similar to the one found before this.
Oh, wow. These are like very, like they're shaped, like one of them looks like a big dong.
Yes.
kind of.
Yeah, they're like
a couple of them do.
Rocket ship.
Some, and then there's one that's very rounded on the top.
Yeah.
Compared to the other ones.
The one that's the shortest one, which is the one that was found first, that one has the very blunt end on it.
Yes.
It's also the oldest one. That was the middle bronze. The other ones are from the late bronze, so.
What do they do with these?
I know. It is also, it's also decorated in a similar fashion as the others. It does have a band of crescents at the top of an eye-shaped symbol. and the tip or the point of the hat has an 8-pointed star. Okay. There were 17 different tools used to make the designs on the hat, and it has been dated to 1000 to 800 BCE. And when you're looking at the pictures, you can tell which ones I'm talking about, because the first one found is the short one.
Right.
And the second one found has no brim.
Yep.
And then the next one found, you can tell, because it looks like it had like been wrinkled up and then straightened out. It's the one that got smushed and cut, and you can kind of see where
you can see where they kind of put it back together.
Right, where they mended it. And then this last one is the unknown origin one.
Nuts.
The period of history from 1300 to 700 BCE in Europe is referred to as the Urnfield culture. They refer to it, this time frame in the Bronze Age in Europe, this area, as Urnfield culture. And this is in reference to the people's custom. At this time, they would cremate their dead and place the cremated remains into urns that they would then bury in pits and fields. Urnfield. Okay. This is why they find urns with charred bones buried in pits and fields. And that's what they did to their dead. So it makes it hard to study the dead. They can tell the burial practices because they find these urns buried. And a lot of times they find them buried with other artifacts, and any jewelry that they would find with them would be broken, and they believe that they've been broken deliberately.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah. And so there's definite ritual to the burial, but not the bodies, because the bodies they would burn. So
the bodies weren't sacred or of any
right.
The
and
ritual itself.
Not that they haven't found bodies in this area from the Bronze Age, or they were probably more like died by themselves in the woods and just rotted.
Not someone that was of importance, maybe.
They were murdered and somebody buried them, or it was like war and they died on the field, and then they just left there. No one knows for sure what these objects were used for. They said that they definitely have the right circumference for a head because they fit on the head. That you could wear it and it fits on your head like a hat. Right. And they look like a hat. They look like
could look like a hat.
Like a witch hat. They're almost shaped like a witch hat. Some of them are very tall, like 2 feet tall. Right. Like a sorcerer or a wizard with a 2-foot tall golden hat running around. We know that these were very special objects to whoever made them. The amount of gold needed to make them and the amount of time it took just to hammer out the gold. Not to mention all the intricate designs stamped onto them after they were made, tell us that these weren't for ordinary people. These were spiritual, most likely. They were used by probably sorcerers or religious people, whatever
spiritualism was going on.
Right. They were probably used in some kind of ritual aspect like that. Some of the theories... some think that they weren't to be worn on the head at all, and they were used as ceremonial vessels for libations, like a vase kind of.
Oh, okay.
Like they would tip them up. I'm like, I don't know. The brim makes me think that's not what these were for.
And you'd have to put them inside something to hold them up because they wouldn't sit up upside down because they're pointed. Right. So they'd be like in some kind of holder. Right. And you think you would find the holder.
That's like the least plausible in my opinion. They were some thought they were to be like fertility symbols because they're phallic, like you said. They look like dongs
look like dongs.
Look like dongs. They could have been worn by priests like wizard hats, possibly covering a fabric headdress. Like they had fabric underneath them to help hold their shape. Because they're very delicate. They're hammered. They're very thin. Many Bronze Age ritual sites contain tall wooden posts in them. People think these cones might have been placed upon these, like, tall posts as some sort of...
decorative marking.
Right, or maybe like a solar clock or something like that.
Interesting.
In 2002, researchers at the Berlin Museum of Antiquities they did in-depth research on their own artifact, the Berlin hat. And the research team believes that the 1,739 sun and moon symbols, because that's how many are on this one hat.
Oh my God.
1,739 sun and half moon symbols that are stamped into the hat represent a system that corresponds to something they call the metonic cycle.
Okay.
And the meteor, or the meteoric cycle, the meteor of Athens, or meton, depending on what my handwriting is, because it could be
you sound like me.
bad, was a Greek astronomer in 432 BCE. So he was in the same time frame as this, but honestly, these hats date to before this guy. But this guy kind of found a way. It was like this would make it a lunisolar calendar. So he developed a calendar off the sun and the moon, and they think that this hat was the same type of way to measure when the seasons would start, like when the full moons would come, and basing, like, because these are agricultural based societies, you know,
right?
So their religion was all based on the seasons and the change, and like the sun and the moon, and they worship, most of these are polytheistic, worship the sun. They're probably druids or pagans of some kind,
right?
And they think to fully understand what these hats or cones were meant for, we would need to find more of them. So who knows if more have been found and melted down or sold, or
no one ever knew.
Yeah, because even now, like, if you're in your backyard digging and you find this gold mash, because it could have got crushed, they're so thin. And what would you do? Would you give it to a local museum? Would you sell it to the cash for gold people up the road? You know, like, who knows?
It's hard to say, because if I saw it all riddled up and chunks of it, I would be like, "What's this crap?"
But like, one thing to know too is, like, if these hats were used to predict, like, time and the weather. I mean, with predicting the seasons, you're predicting weather patterns. The men who would be, or women who would be in charge of these hats would be looked at as magical. Like, this guy knows that we should plant now. And so, like, he's like, you see him out in I'm picturing this scrawny leg toothpick scarecrow man doing a weird dance out in the field with one of these hats on his head, and it makes me giggle so hard.
Wearing like a burlap sack kind of thing.
Something! Like, doing a little chicken dance.
Like, I'm bringing in the crop. Look at me.
It's probably, I mean, all the hats are different. All the hats are different sizes. They have similar things on them, but they're all different. So, I mean, but it could be an evolution of, like our knowledge has grown. We're mapping the moon and we're mapping the sun. And we know that after 12 or 13 suns, it's spring. You know, it's like after this many moons, you get spring. And I don't know, it's back then there was no YouTube to waste your time on. So you stare at the sky, and if you're smart, because there's people who are smart,
noticing a pattern happening.
Right. It's really cool. So, I mean, this is a little different type of episode, but I thought
it's bizarre stuff, and we cover bizarre stuff.
Weird. It was these weird golden hats.
And I am kind of sad that I can't get a solid answer on what they are, because I need to know. They need to figure this out.
Their source of, like, material, there's only 4 of them that they found. And they're like, in order to do, like, a true study on them, you need to have a wider source material, you know?
Makes sense, yeah.
So, but I mean, they could find more where, you know,
I might go dig in my backyard and see if I can find a golden hat comb.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Probably wouldn't be found in my backyard.
No, because we're not in Germany.
So. No, we're not. We're in northern New York.
You could find some arrowheads, probably.
I probably could find some arrowheads. Yeah,
maybe some old, what do they call the balls?
Oh, the balls are casings to something or whatever.
The lead bullets they shot each other with in the Revolutionary War, or they used to massacre the natives that were in this area, because, you know,
terrible. You were horrible.
Lead shot.
Lead shot.
Yeah.
True, could definitely. I bet. I'm sure that's found all over the place in Sackett's Harbor, stuff like that, because of the Battle 1812 and the battlefield and stuff. If you go with I don't know. Does lead get picked up on a metal detector?
I think so.
How does that work? I don't know. I don't understand all that.
I don't either.
It's all magic.
It's metal. I think it would.
You deserve metal.
Welcome back, boys.
I have not watched Willow yet, Margaret.
I've watched the first 2 episodes, and then we haven't watched it since, but we had a lot going on at Christmas, and then we were sick, and then Ruben was sick, and it was like, as much as I want to watch it with Ruben, you know?
Yeah, that's what Rich and I want to watch it together. I mean, we were trying to finish up other stuff first, and we watched a lot of movies over break, which is I like movies. Don't get me wrong, I like to watch movies, but I'm not one to like, let's watch a movie right now. And I watched a lot. Only if there's something really good out, I'll watch it. Or if there's I'd watch Willow because I want to watch Willow, the movie. Like old classics, I can watch a million times. But we're big binge series watchers.
That went off on a tangent.
We have been on tangents, but we haven't recorded in a while, and we needed to catch up with each other because we really haven't even been able to talk to each other because everything's been so crazy.
I know. So, I actually called Colleen the other day because I'm like, I haven't talked to you in like 2 weeks.
I know. And we're so used to seeing each other every week and having time together and chatting, and we just haven't. So, like, you got to be a part of our normal conversation, basically. So lucky you.
One of my podcasts I like to watch, listen to me. I like to listen to is Red Handed. And I don't know if you've listened to them. They're British.
I have, yeah.
They're adorable. I could listen to them talk forever just because of their accents. They're just great. Mm-hmm. They are coming to Toronto in March.
Ooh. I don't have my license. My whatchamacallit.
Well, you have time. You have time.
I do. I could do it.
It's your enhanced license, and we could go down there, and we could stay with Darby, and we could take her with us, and we could go see them.
That's right, because she's so close to... I love Toronto. Toronto's beautiful.
It is. Mm-hmm. You go straight up through Niagara Falls, straight to Toronto.
That's a good idea. When is it, though?
March 30th.
I'm going to a Bruins game mid-March.
I think tickets 18th. Are like 30, like the cheap tickets are $38. Plus, cool. plus $12 in fees because Ticketmaster's a piece of shit.
They're assholes, aren't they? That they
really are.
Process it. Yeah, well, process this. Ticketmaster.
Assholes.
Well, if you guys enjoyed our banter and like us, you should definitely follow us on Facebook and Instagram and all the platforms everywhere. Our Facebook and Instagram are The Cousins Weird, just like the name of the podcast, and we post pictures of our episodes on there, so you can see a picture to what we talked about, which is always good. We always banter, we always talk, not maybe as long as we did this time. So, if you enjoyed that, I think you'll enjoy all of our episodes if you're new to us.
Also, I did post earlier this year, I wanted people to post what their favorite episode was from this past year. And I think that's a good thing. Like, if you're listening to this, shoot us a message, either go on Facebook. Tell us what your favorite episodes were this year. Did you have a favorite, like, regular episode versus a favorite terrible trend? I know that Colleen Scott, who is my cousin's daughter, and she's adorable, she liked the Victorian time travel episode. She said it made her go down a black hole of research.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went down that rabbit hole of research there. It can be a black hole, though, when you're going into, like, Marie Antoinette and stuff like that. But I love that. That's, like, what my goal in life is to make people excited about learning about stuff.
About knowledge. And I don't care what you're learning about, because I know that some people think what we talk about is ridiculous and who cares. But it's using your brain and filling it with knowledge. And regardless if it's interesting to someone else, like, I don't care. Like, it's interesting to me.
So, Colleen, what was your favorite episode that you researched? What was your favorite episode to research?
Jesus, Margaret. You're putting me right on the spot.
Or what was your favorite episode that I did that you learned about? Like,
that I think I agree with her about the time travel. That was like probably my favorite episode because it was just so freaking interesting and cool. And like, I never heard of it. So I like that. It didn't involve feet. or snakes. I don't think. So it made me real happy because you like to do that to me. But that definitely, I would agree with her. That was like, after I kept on saying, I think at the end of during the episode, I'm like, this is my favorite one. I love this episode. I'm pretty sure I said it in the episode itself. But for myself, I don't know. I like.
My favorite episode that you did would probably be the Wabasha Caves. I love that one.
I literally was about to say, I think the Wabasha Street Caves were one of my favorite.
Because it was so
fascinating,
the cheese.
The history. The cheese. And the mushrooms. Amazing. And like all the good. I love anything that I could go visit and see now too. Like haunted hotels, like sign me up for all of them. I also loved, my very first one doing the, whatchamacallit, Winchester House. Freaking loved researching that. Like that was so much fun.
That was
the year before. I think Black Mary. Wasn't that what it was called? The Vermont one where the statue, Black Mary?
Black Angus.
Angus.
Agnes. Black Agnes.
Black Agnes. That was a really fun one because, I don't know, I enjoyed that. I love any New England-y kind of thing because, it's our neck of the woods.
Our live episode was amazing because we had our live show, our first.
Like the best thing that's ever happened. Like,
so great.
So fun. And to be able to talk to people and like interact as we did it and have them laugh at the things we were laughing at. Like we say something that we thought was funny because we think we're funny, but they actually thought it was funny. Like they were laughing.
Yes, it was great. My favorite episode that I researched would probably be the Mother of Rabbits.
I know you loved it. I knew that
it was more of like, I could not wait to see the look on Colleen's face when I started talking about it, and it did not disappoint because it was mortified. So bizarre and out there and I had never heard of it before. I'm like, I cannot wait to do this. Colleen's face, oh my god, and it was totally worth it. It was fantastic.
I love, another one I love to do, and I don't know, sorry, I'm gonna keep going. I can't remember if this was last year or this past year, or the year before, but was the Queen Mary one.
That one was pretty early.
It probably was. That was one of my favorite episodes I've done because the history behind it. It's haunted. It's a boat. It's romantic to me, like ships and they're so romantic to me, even though they
same with like the Franklin, Opposition. With that 2-parter that I did. That one was also an old one. It was from our first year. Yeah, but that one and that was something that I had kind of researched before, it was something I was interested in anyway. So that was really fun to do, to get like into the meat of it and like research it. And the Victorian Time Travel, I had that on the back burner for a while. I'm like,
you know what other one was my favorite, Margaret? What was the one with the guy with the rocket scientist?
Oh yes, Jack Parsons.
I love Jack Parsons one. That was so good. I love that.
I liked that one. That one was cool to research because I learned a lot from that too because I had never heard of him, so it was really, really fun to research him.
It was fun to research and like or listen to and like learn like during it. I don't know. That one and that one though and the time travel one kind of took me on a ride during it. You know what I mean? Like I really was immersed into it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Most, like a lot of Colleen's ones, the haunting ones are all depressing.
I know, Margaret, these are sad. People die.
I'm depressed now, Colleen. Thanks. With Colleen, she's just like, I feel sick to my stomach, like I'm gonna vomit.
I'm gonna vomit. Oh my god, why are you talking about snakes again? Why are we talking about feet? Why are there feet involved in everything? Like, yeah, that's
Tobacco smoke enema was probably my favorite trend.
You loved that one, which didn't horrify me as much as the other ones.
It was so fun. I just was like, it made me laugh so hard. It was fun to research. I was laughing the whole time.
Terrible trends are fun. I really enjoy doing them, and I think like sometimes we're like, oh, I feel like I'm getting stumped because but then you start thinking, okay, trends can be anything, like anything that was popular. Or that they use during a certain time. So it doesn't necessarily, it could be a job, it could be a whatever, I feel like trends doesn't necessarily have to be something for beauty or medical. It could be something that was popular at the time.
Right.
So it could be a weird job that people had.
I liked your one on rituals of the medieval like the hopping over the grave like 3 times and the weird things.
That was a weird one, yeah.
The charms, that one was really cool. I liked that one a lot.
That was interesting. I liked your the tablets, the complaint things. Was that a trend or was that?
Oh yeah, that was the curse tablets.
Curse tablets. That was a fun one because the things that they said were hysterical. But that was American Year.
Yeah, was that a trend or was that a regular?
I can't remember.
No, that was the Ring of Sylvianus.
Oh, that was a regular episode.
So yeah, that one was fun. I loved the Black Agnes. I keep saying
Agnes. I know. I have. Is it Black Mary?
And then the little Lori episode that you did, that one was great.
Oh yeah, I love that one too because give me a New Orleans any day. Like,
oh yeah,
take me to New Orleans, vampire-y, zombies. I want to know, I want all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, we had a fun year. We did a lot of cool episodes. And if you've never listened to us before, you should definitely go listen to them.
Yeah.
And if you
I still want a Mother of Rabbits shirt. I need that
the design that I did for it. Mm-hmm.
With the Mother of Rabbits, and I need that on a shirt.
With her pregnant belly with a rabbit inside.
With the rabbits in it, yeah. Because then it's like, what is that? And then you get to tell them and watch their look of horror on their face.
They're like, what? Well, you know what I love is doing the graphic thing for episodes, like coming up with something. And that's one of my favorite parts of doing this because it's just I can think
for
of
those
something
of you who
cool.
didn't know, Colleen does all the graphics that we post on Facebook.
It's so
Those
fun.
are all her. So thank you.
I love that kind of stuff.
Artistic
Canva's my friend, though. Really, it's Canva. I just piece it together right. That's all. And they should sponsor us. Canva, you should sponsor us because I use you every episode. Every episode. And I could plug you every time. Just saying.
Yes. Oh, yeah. All right, so I went off. We were trying to do our closing, and then I'm like, oh, no, wait! So if you'd like to reach out and touch us, metaphysically.
Please don't. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Not with your hands, with your brains, or with your
words.
With your words. You can reach us at thecousinsweird@gmail.com. Or you can send us a direct message through Facebook or Facebook Messenger or Instagram.
And if you want to support us, the best, 100% best way is to share our stuff. Also, when you like episodes and do reviews for them, it really helps us to increase our algorithm. You know, they're all fancy magical things, the algorithms are. You gotta please the algorithm gods. And you gotta review our podcast and like our episodes because that boosts us in the algorithm on all these platforms. But sharing our episodes on social media also will be, is a great way to support us. But you also can go to patreon.com/thecousinsweird for, let me see if I remember, I haven't said it in a while. For $1 a month, you're a freaky friend. You get a free sticker, and you get bonus episodes.
Yes.
And for $5 a month, you are a terrible trender, and you get the same things as a freaky friend, but you also get a yearly gift, bonus episodes, and a monthly
ad-free episodes.
Oh yeah, and a monthly chat with us on the Skype with other programmers. Yes. Where we just babble on about nothing, probably, but it's fun.
Basically what you just listened to, but you'd see our faces.
But you'll be able to actually talk to us. You'll be part of the conversation, not just listening to us go on and on and on and on and on. You'll actually have input. Which, if you, please, if you think it's going to be a cool idea for us to start a group, to have, a Facebook group where we could talk about our episodes, if you wanted to talk about them more, or if you're interested in that kind of thing, let us know that too.
We'll have, a special, Patreon-only Facebook page. So, that would be the same thing that we're talking about. So,
yeah, I think that's it.
All right. Stay freaky.
Bye.
Bye.